Right, I've got the recording running. Okay, so make sure all those things are in place there. Right. Well, welcome everyone to Getting Into the Flow in Your Life. I'm Nicolas, Ngan of the Centre for Conscious Ascension, and I want to give you a direct experience of divine healing. But first, I'd like to hear from some of you guys that turned up and what's brought you here and what you'd like from this webinar, because then I can mold it around those needs. So these are pretty fluid the way we do these things. So some of you guys know me quite well. So just briefly, if you'd like to tell me that, either switch on your microphone or message me on the chat so we can sort of set the intent for the group. Who would like to have a go first?
Can I say something?
Ninka, yeah.
I had the Atlas thing done today.
Yeah.
And so I was really keen on having a healing session. And yeah, I did the other ones. And so yeah, I love the energy. So I don't have a real intention, I guess, just the healing.
Okay.
That's it for now.
Yeah, we can do that. Thank you, Ninka.
Welcome.
Anyone else like to set their intention here?
I'd like to value myself fully.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. Anyone else?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, Joanna.
Oh, okay. I was. I'm here because I'm having some flashbacks of abandonment, and so I'm here to heal those wounds as I go. They're like little remnants, and that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Tina has said, "Hi David, I can only stay till 11:30, but looking for some healing as well. Removing fear blockages essentially." Okay, thank you, Tina. Sarah?
Hi everybody. Well, I think any work and any healing opportunity to share time and space with Nicolas, David, Ngan is worthwhile. We've done a lot of work together recently, and I'm kind of, optimized my name with him, and I'm really going boldly forward, and there's all kinds of little things that need to be wrapped up and healed along the way. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you, Nicolas.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Anyone else before we start? Okay, all right. So I'm going to show you a little presentation to explain divine healing first, so you know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm going to share the screen, which means everyone will go probably to the right as little webcam windows, okay? But you can drag them around. Just click on them and hold your mouse and move them around, okay? So there you go. All right, so let's get started. Here we go. On my little pen here. If you guys could mute your microphones, because everything you do I can hear. Everyone else will be able to pick up. Just click on the microphone icon on the bottom right, bottom left. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, it's a very sensitive system. Okay. So, are you here to help the world? And but no matter what you try, you still feel left behind. That was me not that long ago. And so we're going to use this healing webinar, which is very strong, okay? And if you watch the video later, you'll get the same energy again. Some people use this many times, the webinars, to heal themselves. We're going to clear some specific patterns of abandonment and emotional blocks. Okay, a couple more people have joined us. Just a sec, I'll just join them to the webinar. Okay, hi, Cecilia and Laura. Okay. So we're going to basically, through focused intent, clear a layer of abandonment and emotional blocks, which we all carry. It's a hazard of just being human in a body here on Earth. So the idea here is to help you connect more, become more stable and secure with the flow of life. Because essentially, when we come into a body, we feel separate from God, really. I'll jump around these diagrams here. We come from source, which is at the 12th dimension, and we are an out-breath of source that comes down through all dimensions, all the way to the solid 3rd dimension. And we're a little spark of source that's in us, spark of the divine, that forgot this is where we came from. So our little human ego here, and this human being here, feels God's abandoned me. I've been left here. I've been dumped here on planet Earth. So our ego feels abandoned by God. And when we feel a lack of oneness here, then that creates blockages in the flow of life, because fundamentally at a deep level we don't feel there's the flow of source or God coming to us. So, and we all have that to a greater or lesser degree in different sort of combinations of the way the ego builds itself. So the key is actually to clear that. When you clear that sense of being abandoned by source or God, then the flow opens for you. And it's not going to come from trying to manipulate the reality or draw it to you from this reality, because this reality here is sort of like a projection screen of higher consciousness. Okay, so the only way to create abundance and flow is to open to higher consciousness and allow it to come through you, which is sort of core principle we're going to work on today. Okay, so jump around here. So I've mentioned divine healing, but well, what is it really? Well, it's a multidimensional healing system that comes from source, that came onto the earth in 2006. Through Almera Ariel Halle, used to run the Center for Consciousness Ascension with me and 2 other friends of ours. And its purpose is to open to grace. Its basically purpose is to clear your ego and all the other soul programming so you can get back to source and consciousness. That's the purpose of it, is to help you ascend rapidly. And it was put together by many different groups of beings in the high dimensions so we could get home in consciousness and no longer feel that abandonment, no longer feel separate. And it's a very simple, quick and profound set of healing tools that you can use on yourself or on others, that reconnects you to spirit, empowers you because you can do it on yourself, so you don't have to actually rely on coming to sessions with someone else. So you can clear your programs as they come up, because the amount of ego separation programming in us determines the rate at which we create the flow in our life, create the good stuff. We're all searching for that. And it contains the keys to enlightenment, because as you clear your ego, as you peel this ego onion here, what happens is that your higher self can see all of this because it created you. This is your ego onion. And this is the true you, this spark of consciousness, this flame of consciousness inside. What we do with divine healing, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to peel a layer of this onion. There's a little less of the ego weight holding you back, disconnecting you from higher consciousness up here. And so there's an order to peel this stuff out, which is what divine healing does. So you're actually just opening and allowing your higher self to peel your onion in the right order with grace. It's very rapid. It's a very rapid process. So let's get back to this one here. So I've been doing this about 13 years now, and someone else just joined, Joe. And divine healing has allowed me to make my life really happen. I've gone from barely making a living as a therapist to having a global teaching business in that time, and really having a much more graceful sort of life, and transforming this underlying programming that was really torturing me, a lot of unworthiness and disempowerment, and yeah, making my dreams come true. Allowed me to create a best-selling book, Your Soul Contract Decoded, and appear on Gaia TV 5 times in past few years. build out this business so it reaches a lot of people, helps a lot of people grow. It's the most satisfying thing for me, and it's helping me live my soul's vision. They were no longer dreams. The dreams are actually turning into reality, but it does take quite a bit of work. There was no other alternative. I would rather put the effort into working on myself than stay suffering in the place I had been in most of my life. And it's allowed me to heal very deeply and completely, and especially connect to the true essence of the soul and the source that comes through me. And I would say this love and joy, it's starting to happen now. It's really starting to happen. I'd say learning divine healing in 2006 from our mirror in the first class, the level 1 class, was a major breakthrough because I really peeled that onion much quicker, whereas previously the tools weren't working so well. So definitely more flow in my life has happened as a result. So what I've been doing is doing a bit of gardening. I've actually been growing lotuses, beautiful pink lotuses out of the mud, the emotional separation in my life. Most of us don't want to get in the mud. It's pretty messy, smelly. And what I've been doing is I've been diving into the mud and bringing consciousness to all my separation programs. And the key with divine healing is to bring consciousness to those programs by feeling them. And once you feel them, they start to transform, they transmute, because that's all the soul wants. They turn into lotuses, beautiful things. So I've been doing 13 years of this really intensely. Most of the time our ego is an avoidance of diving into them. Most of the time we do this stuff here. We feel abandoned by God, or we feel unworthy, or we feel a mistrust of God just by coming into a body. And as a result of these 3 core programs running, we're going to work on this abandonment one tonight. We feel pretty bad, and we don't want to feel these horrible feelings. And so what we tend to do is that we go into avoidance. We don't want to feel the programs. We go into addictive patterns, excessive media, chemicals, work, all sorts of stuff to avoid feeling the program. But actually it doesn't change anything. It just means we get stuck and life becomes pretty miserable. And then when we're aware of the programs, sometimes some people do this. We tend to judge the programs and feel bad about it, especially if we are a healer, because we know quite a bit more about them. And judging the programs, we make them stronger. But there's a third path, which is what we use in divine healing, where we turn into the program and feel it and resonate and own it. When we bring feeling consciousness to a program, it starts to dissolve, and that's all the soul wants. It wants us to feel the sense of separation, then it will transform. Higher self will help transform that program. And this is this process here. So I better change my color here. So here's our program. This could be unworthiness, say. I used to have a lot of that. But I had a willingness and desire and courage to transform it. So I focused my consciousness on feeling it. And this light, the sky blue here, is about my feeling consciousness expanding into the unworthiness. And when I did that, it started to expand it like, trying to get this thing to work. Started to expand it into it, my awareness. And as I brought feeling consciousness to it, this program started to dissolve, which is how we transform all programs. The ego's onto us here, and so it's not so keen on us transforming its programs because we asked it to hold, we created it, the souls created it, so we would stay separate in consciousness from God. Okay, so a bit of background noise here. Nicole, we're just going to put you on mute, Nicole, because we can hear things. So the ego puts out this icy turquoise frozen protection that numbs us out, so we can't feel the program because we can't feel it. We can't heal it. Okay, and also we Westerners have learned to control our emotions. We think about things too much with the prefrontal cortex. Do that as well. We try and force things in our life to happen. So what happens with divine healing is that we have a way of breaking through with grace and ease this protection in the ego. And as we start to break through it, we can penetrate into the program, and we can basically bring our consciousness to the program, expand it, and then clear it with what we call command codes, which we're going to do very shortly. Basically, we ask the higher self to clear the program once we can feel it. So basically, divine healing is all about become aware of the program, feel it, then ask higher self to clear it, and then that layer of the ego onion goes. So it's quite simple in the end, just that there's lots of different types of programs we as humans have. So to create the flow in your life, this is the key process here I'm going to share with you. Here's how you do it. Here's how you create more flow in your life. Just going to have a drink. This is an Indian model of how we're built. This is who you really are in the high dimensions. This is your higher self here. This is high, this is increasing frequency. So you have a God self, a higher emotional body, and a non-linear mind. This is vastly expanded consciousness than what we have on Earth. And it created us here. It created this impermanent personality here. Ninka, did you have a question?
Yes. Where in this image is the soul, you would say?
The soul is the embodied part of us here in the physical body, and this is spirit, the rest of us, not in the body, in the high dimensions.
Okay.
Okay. If you have any other questions, just put your hand up, guys, or if I don't respond, just turn your microphone on and ask me. So, the higher self created us, the impermanent personality down here, with a mental, emotional, energetic, and physical bodies. And it connected to us through what we call the Antakarana, which is it's a silver cord, basically, you see when you leave your body. You see it in the movies. And this is bringing high-dimensional life force into us, which is what keeps us alive. So you need more than water and food and air to stay alive. You cut this off, you die. The physical body dies. The soul doesn't die, though. So what happened is that in the creation of the linear ego mind, lots of emotional separation got put in place here, which creates a barrier to us accessing this higher consciousness. So basically, to create the flow in your life, you need to access the higher self, the energy of the higher self. This is the absolute key. So what you have to do here, or need to do, is clear the linear ego mind and all emotional body, mental body, energy bodies, all the programs, separation programs, our soul put in place. And all the soul wants to do is experience the process of feeling its way through BAU, personality, so all these programs, then transmuting them all and getting back to source, back to God here in the spiritual sense. And that's actually the purpose of life, is to have that visceral experience of going from feeling completely separate to feeling completely connected. And that complete connection process is called ascension. So that's why you're here. And each of us, we do it in our own unique way. So how do we actually open up this Antakarana? So you've got to open this guy up here. That's when life gets really interesting. Here's how you do it. So if you use divine healing here and you start to clear this part of low frequency, the embodied part of you, the personality part of you, of low frequency emotional programs, your frequency rises. As the frequency rises, the Antakarana opens because you're getting a little closer to the higher self and frequency. And then this violet, unconditional love starts to come in and life starts to go more gracefully. I mean, for those of you on the path, you may have noticed like it's a little easier provided you work on your issues. And so more flow is coming to you here. You keep working on it. it gets even wider. You get more blissful because more unconditional love is coming in. Life's flowing better. And if you keep going at this, you get a complete opening where the endocrine is at maximum opening and you have maximum unconditional love coming into the personality. This is called enlightenment, basically. And when this happens, life is, you're pretty blissed out most of the time, and life really flows because everything you need is coming from here. Because remember I said earlier, this here is a projection screen here. So when you clean the lens of the projector of low frequency dirt and energy, it means that the light can come through more brightly, which means the light that comes through you is going to create the good stuff in your life. It's going to create the flow. So the amount of flow you can have in your life is directly related to how clear this connection is. So it doesn't matter what you do with your business or anything like that. If this is limited, then there's only so far you're going to get. So what happens is this. When the ego is dissolved enough here, it is surrendered, it becomes the servant of the Atmic, Buddhic, and nonlinear mind, okay? The God self, the high emotional body, and the nonlinear mind. And therefore it is surrendered. It lets go, and the unconditional love of the higher self comes through you out into the world, and miracles start happening. Things start turning up. The good stuff starts to turn up. And the good stuff is not what you want at a conscious level, it's what the soul desires to create as part of its mission of service here on earth. So the goal needs to be to completely surrender the ego here and have no attachment or desire. And they talk about that in the process of awakening, to be desireless and to just surrender to whatever's meant to come through. And when you do that, you are much more in alignment with where the higher self wants to take you. So what we're actually doing is this. This is a really important diagram. So most people are in the little ego here. We've got someone else here. Hi, Jen. Okay. Most people are in the little ego there. And what happens, welcome, Jen. What happens is that when you follow the path of the ego, of the mind, this is the path of suffering, as the Buddha talks about it, because the ego is trying to thinks it's in charge, which is a complete illusion, and it's trying to make life happen. Okay, all right. Especially for you North Americans, you're trying to make it happen. Well, this is not about making it happen; it's about letting go and opening for life to come through you. And if you clear enough of your ego programs, you're going to make a shift to the solid line, which is what we call the spiritual signature, where in each moment there's one right action which will open your heart to the maximum you have to take in life. And if you do that in every moment, life opens and flows. Obviously, you've got to be really clear or become progressively getting clear. What happens is initially is if you're aware of this, you start to converge on the spiritual signature. And this is the path of how to get into the flow of your life. This is the flow right here. It's not here. It's here. It's what the heart wants to do, what it desires to do, and the soul is communicating through your heart through opening it. It's all that feeling. And as you converge on this, life's really opening and flowing because your consciousness is expanded, because you've cleared enough of the ego to allow spirit to come through you. And so the true flow is following the signature, because then everything is provided on an as-needed basis, even though you may think where's it going to come from. Remember, this reality is just an illusion. It's a three-dimensional projection. You're at the movies your whole life. Okay, and so by opening to this, everything comes to you because you have access by the time you get to this stage. It just turns up. So when you get to this point, there's actually nothing to worry about, because everything will just turn up as and when you need it. And if something's meant to work out, it'll work out. If it's not, it's not, no matter what your mind thinks. Because if you try and force something that's looking like it's not going to work out and you force it to try and make it happen, what happens then is that you probably get something you don't want. Okay? So basically divine healing is really for, not just healing, but it's really to help you get on this path here, get into the flow of life, ultimately. How are we doing? Any questions so far, people? Just switch on your mic or message me, so it makes sense. Oh.
There's a chat.
Yeah, Tina said, I tend to have great moments lasting for weeks of enlightenment, but still tend to fall back to some of the ego patterns usually related to trust, and then that column closes back down. Then there's pain and much introspection. Is this normal part of the awakening process? Yes, it is, Tina, because we fluctuate. We have openings, then more layers of the ego come up to try and stop us. So then the key to that is to work on that issue, in your case, of trust, and peel that layer of the onion. If you peel enough of it, eventually you have complete trust in the universe. It just takes some time. So you've got to work at this here. There's no easy fix here to awakening and getting in the flow. No matter what any fancy website tells you, or no matter how much money you spend, you've actually got to go and do the work and really look at your stuff. And that takes a lot of courage, determination, drive, yeah, and financial resources as well, okay, to actually do that. But the reward is being in the flow. And the flow is ultimately of love, of the abundance is really a flow of spirit, because that provides everything then. It's not just about making money here. Money is just a means of exchange. Okay, Peter.
Nicolas, can you just explain again the spiritual signature? Give it a definition.
Yeah, the spiritual signature is taking the next right action in each moment in life. And the next right action is the action, if you have a choice, or several choices, which opens your heart the most in each moment, because the soul is using the heart to tell you what to do next. Okay, like when I'm going to cook a meal, I just feel in my body what my body wants, and my heart opens the most to, in this case, it was reheated Ayurvedic vegetables this morning, at lunchtime, and steamed broccoli and some blue corn chips. But that's just what the flow was. That was what my heart opened to. So I had that, and I felt very satisfied from that. Or it could be to call a certain person at a certain time, or run a workshop at a certain time. So you're just waiting for the flow of spirit, and you're clear enough to indicate to you what is next, and you flow with that. Life comes to you. It's not a struggle. You don't have to actually chase things around anymore. But it's taken me a long time to get to that, because I used to do all those things in the past, trying to make it happen. Especially when I first started running this business about 20 years ago. Not saying it's going to take you guys 20 years, because the tools are a lot better now. But it's about opening and keeping clearing so you can get to that state. Does that help, Peter?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Jesus, he spent 12 years in the desert or whatever. Basically, what he was doing is he was clearing his ego. For the time he disappeared, he was basically learning how to do this. And he got to this point here. He was completely in alignment, completely connected to source, which is why he could do all the miracles. And we can all do that. He says that. If you're clear enough, everyone has that capability. Okay. But that's what he was doing. Because he had his own karma, just like everyone else. It's the nature of coming into a human body. All right. So I'm going to get to a bit of practice in a minute. So what happens is that most people go around with all these emotional blockages, for example, abandonment. And it takes a lot of energy in the ego to hold those in place so we don't feel them. So you lose life force, you become diminished. It's painful. Life is very limiting. I remember my life was like that most of the time. It was pretty miserable. So what we're doing here is by bringing consciousness to these programs and dissolving them, is we're freeing up life force, and that becomes available to create the good stuff in life. Okay, so that's essentially what we're trying to do here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a demonstration of this. We're going to do it on everybody here. So come to our demonstration page. So what I'd like you to do is focus, closing your eyes, feet flat on the ground here. I want you to focus here on any negative emotion, which has been stopping the flow coming to you, because we set the intention, this will be about getting into the flow. And I'd like you to breathe into that. And it's okay, whatever the feeling is. It's important not to be ashamed of whatever it is, because you're bringing consciousness to this. Load a couple more people here. Okay. And then it could be a sense of worthlessness or abandonment. It could be feeling unwanted as a kid, whatever it is. Might just be feeling sad or terror, something like that came. So just breathe into that. And what you're doing is you're bringing feeling consciousness to that. Just breathe into whatever the feeling is. Okay. And just feel it. Breathing through the mouth is very important because that keeps you in the body. Breathing through the nose keeps you in the head, and the mind will try and stop you feeling by doing that, because it doesn't want to change these programs. So in Divine Healing, this is the manual we use in Divine Healing. These 26 charts here. These are called main low frequency programs. I'm having you feel them, but this is for diagnosing whatever's blocking you. Okay. You can look at this later. I'll just roll through some of these programs. You may see one that resonates with you. But if you can feel it, just keep your eyes closed. There's no need to diagnose it because you can already feel it. You only use this part if you can't, if you're not sure what's going on. Okay. All right. So I want you to feel how that program operates in your life, that abandonment or that terror or whatever it is. Just feel that. Yeah. Because what we're doing is we're bringing more consciousness to it. Okay, and something would have been triggered by coming to the webinar. All right. Because I opened the Divine Healing space before you all came, so you're primed for this. So feel that program for another minute or two. Now what we're going to do is find out where that program came from. So this is called a main low frequency program chart, but we're going to go to another chart here. And that chart is called Original Time. So what we do in Divine Healing is we target these programs. So what I want you to do now is open your eyes, take a look at this chart here. And your eye is going to be drawn to one of these numbers here. All right? Or one of these is going to really jump out at you. For example, in utero jumps out at me. And I'm going to choose a number between 1 and 42, which is 2. So 2 weeks something happened to me around flow. So whatever comes up here, just take a note of it. Because when you target a program in time and space, like past lives, current lives, parallel and alternative lives, okay, you don't have to know the detail of what it means at this stage. We don't have time to explain that. It could be from the future, it could be from ancestors. In targeting where that feeling in your body comes from, we can take out a lot of the program. Okay? So this is bringing more consciousness to what it is, okay? Whatever you're feeling at the moment. And this whole transmission works equally well if you're here live and if you're watching it later. You guys who just are on YouTube only. Okay? So you figured out where it came from. Now we go back to the main low frequency program chart here. Okay. So sometimes we go off and do lots of other charts. There's 26 charts in this level 1 in Divine Healing. There's 5 levels. We're not going to do that today. I'm going to keep it simple. So I want you to let yourself open to all aspects of the feeling still in your body. Maybe you're getting a little more intense now. Okay. We tend to avoid the negative feelings. Feel any attachment the ego has to having, because the ego loves to hold on to our programs. Okay. Doesn't like letting this stuff go. Keep breathing through your mouth. Become aware of any feelings of being bad for having it. Any judgment around it. And the more you can open emotionally to the program, the more it can integrate and heal. Keep breathing into it. It may be getting a little intense at times, but you may feel that your consciousness is keeping expanding into the program wherever it is in your body. Now we're going to clear the program. So for those of you who are up for this, just unmute your microphones on the left. We're going to say this command code here. It's how divine healing works. We're going to command Saint Germain, in this case, an ascended master, to help us. Okay? All right? And we say it all together. It's very powerful as a group when we say this. Much more powerful than doing it by yourself. So we say this with reverence as we mean it. You need to be present with it. I want you to feel what happens as we do this. Okay? Because you've brought consciousness, feeling consciousness to the program. Now we're going to clear it, this layer of it. So repeat after me. We ask Saint Germain
We ask Saint Germain
to pour the purple flame
to pour the purple flame
through the aura
through the aura
and subtle bodies
and
subtle bodies,
to burn away all low frequency energies
to burn away all low frequency energies
that we have discovered,
that we have discovered,
so that new higher level vibrations
so that higher level vibrations
can be accessed,
can be accessed,
accepted,
accepted,
and encoded.
and encoded.
So it's all about asking, you shall receive divine healing. Yeah. A little pause to let that happen. Saint Germain turns up. I'll help you. And we say, Saint Germain and higher self,
Saint Germain and higher self,
please burn out in one go,
please
burn
burn out
out in one go,
100%.
100%
100%,
The core issue
the core issue
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels
levels and dimensions.
Have a little pause there. 100%.
100%,
The original cause
the original cause
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
100%.
100%,
The source of its power
the source of its power
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
100% all energy attached
100% all energy attached
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and dimensions.
100% all of its effects
100% all of its effects
through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels and
dimensions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gratitude is very important because it opens you up to source, grace coming from source. Just keep breathing. I'll just stop sharing the screen for now. Keep breathing. Feel the energy burning through there, okay? Feel the energy burning through. Takes a little while. It may feel like your system's sort of quite busy at the moment. Okay, let's give it a few minutes. Keep breathing through the mouth. You feel a little lighter from that. Okay, so just when you're ready, just open your eyes and just make sure you're back in the room. We'll just have a little check-in to see how that was before we do the next one. Give you a bit of time to integrate that. Okay. Would anyone like to share their experience of that? Just briefly. Just put your hand up or message me or whatever. Lavinia, you have to switch on your microphone there.
Yeah, I found that I actually felt quite nauseous and sick while we were in the first stage. And then when we did the command, I felt this really beautiful warmth and sort of heat, but it feels really warm and soft.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you. Anyone else like to share their experience of that? Joanna?
I felt also in the beginning like I was offering the wound around abandonment, and then as we stated our affirmation to Saint Germain, this warm feeling, and I saw all this purple glow right in the center of my heart. It was just letting go. Felt really nice.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Peter?
I felt a lot of tension go out of my body.
Yeah. Okay, good. Anybody else? You can put it on chat if you want to, just don't want to speak as well.
Yeah, it felt, you know, when we were breathing in and going deeper into the program, it was, you know, getting really dense, you know, and uncomfortable. Kind of want to get out of here or away from it, you know, but just kept breathing into it. And then once we did the command code, it just, well, there's a lot of yawning and shifting. And it was just almost like layer after layer of all of that energy moving. And then it just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter as we went in with the command code and gave it time. And now I feel all that density's gone and much lighter and present and quiet. You know, that had definitely activated, and now it's just at peace again.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. Elena, she has a bit of panic at the beginning, then very calm and safe at the end. Thank you. Thanks, Elena. Anyone else? Ninka, how's that for you? If you're up for sharing.
It's almost like I've done it now. I do it every day. I start with it every day, and it's not that I feel so much during, but it's more like I feel a difference over time. So
Yeah.
maybe it's very subtle with me. Maybe it's not so noticeable. And during the day, I have these energies flowing already. Like it's cold, and then it's warm, and then it's intense, and then it's this, and then it's that. So things are happening, but I cannot exactly pinpoint it to the healing or the command code.
Okay. All right. It's different for everyone, this experience. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share before we move on to the next bit? Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next bit. I'm going to share the screen again. So when we come into the earth plane, I'm just trying to find out a little diagram here. When we come into the earth plane here, we're stuck in this third dimension. This is the astral plane. This is a place where your soul goes when your physical body dies. We don't die. And as a life force, we leave the body. What happens here is that there's a barrier of energy interference here. I'll change my color. This is made of entities and astral beings, and their job is to stop us from rising in consciousness, to maintain this illusion of being separate from all that is, source, whatever you want to call it, God. So this interference is around us, and it's in our fields, and it's trying to keep our programs in place as well. So we're going to clear a layer of that now, okay? So what I want you to do is close your eyes. I'm going to do a general clearing of interference. You may want to yawn a lot or even burp, and it's fine. This can be quite strong, this process. But I'm going to clear the interference associated with the program which you just cleared, because it was feeding off that negative emotion, okay? So we're done quietly now, okay? So here we go, there's 3 phases of it. We're going to clear, first off, what we call earthbound souls. And if you need to move or breathe more heavily, it's fine. You may change temperature, you might sweat. Here we go, earthbound souls. Feel the energetic shift. Now we're going to shift extraterrestrial presences which sit in our fields. These are vibrating at a high level. You can't sense them, but they're just basically here to see how we humans work and checking us out. So they can interfere with us as well. So we're going to take them out as well. So feel the energy shift from that. Okay, now we're going to take out discarnates, entities, and other attachments from the astral plane. Feel the energy shift. Okay, that's the interference section complete. Just keep breathing into that. Okay. It'll take a little while for your body just to adjust, because often these beings and energies are feeding off your energy. It could be a bit of a shock to them when they leave. Makes me want to yawn. Yawning's fine. This is negative energy shifting. So is burping too, but not very polite in the West, but it's fine if you want to burp. Okay. So open your eyes now. All right. I just want to hear from a few of you guys. How did that feel? Anyone can volunteer. Join your mic, Joanna.
My left side started twitching, and it started right below my kneecap, and then it came all the way up towards the end, and I'm like split in half, and it was all happening on my left side and the pulsing of my left eye, and then it just slowly dissipated.
Yeah, a whole bunch of interference was leaving your body. A lot of strong stuff was leaving. Yeah, because they love the negative emotions we carry. In this case, abandonment, for example, or whatever is related to it. And they encourage us to keep it. They feed off it. So basically, we're taking them away. Because you're taking away a layer of your food source, plus you're also taking them out as well, which frees up your energy. That's what we're actually doing here.
Yeah, thank you.
Who would go next? No one else? Nothing in the chat?
I have a quick question. Is there any significance on why the left side?
Left side is what holds you back in the past.
Okay.
Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
someone's dragging on you, basically, keeping you in the past patterns.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, if no one else wants to say any more, we will move on. So a lot of what we process comes from our past lives, where our souls with different personalities. I mean, the personality we each have here is only for this life, but the soul has lots of different personalities it creates in many other lifetimes. And unresolved issues from past lives it will bring through and load them into this life. So a lot of what you're going through may be due to past life influence. I reckon about 80% of what we go through is from past lives, not related to what we've been doing this life. So we're going to go and clear some of those past lives which have been blocking the flow. Okay, so what I want you to do is close your eyes, because I've set the intent now, and I want you to breathe in and allow the past life files which will come up in your fields, which are responsible for blocking the flow in this life. Okay, just your intention will bring it up. There's all that intention, divine healing. And breathe through your mouth especially. You may feel different energies moving around in your physical and energetic bodies. Some of it may not feel pleasant. Okay. But the soul will bring up in priority whatever is important for you to clear in terms of abandonment and anything blocking the flow now. You get a sense of how many past lives were involved as well. Okay. Now, so I want you to switch your microphones on now. We're going to do a joint command code. Okay, I'm going to just repeat after me, okay? I'm going to use a variation on a past life command code. Just repeat after me. Your eyes closed here. Hi, Elena. Okay. So to say, anyone's welcome to switch your camera on as well if you want to say hi. So, no, it's not compulsory though. Repeat after me. Higher self.
Higher self,
Please clear, heal, and integrate
please clear, heal, and integrate
all these files and memories,
all these files and memories,
including all cellular memories,
including all cellular memories,
the DNA,
DNA,
and the subatomic levels.
and the subatomic levels.
I am now ready to heal
I am now ready to heal
all traumatic past lives
all traumatic past lives
which have been blocking my flow
which have been blocking my flow
in this life
in this life
at all levels and dimensions,
at all levels and dimensions,
all time frames, realities, and universes.
and universes.
Okay, so just sort of pause there. Let that move. Busy for a bit. Ooh, I want to shake my head there. I felt really a bit strange. Okay, I command that any soul fragments held with these memories,
go with these
held with these memories, are now returned to me, fully whole and intact. I welcome these soul fragments back.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
Integrate. I want to yawn. I command that the whole holographic matrix be repaired through all layers and levels,
through all layers and levels,
then brought into full alignment,
and brought into full alignment,
integration,
expression,
integration,
integration,
and balance,
and balance,
to allow for wholeness to emerge,
to allow the wholeness to emerge,
or full wholeness to emerge.
the full wholeness to emerge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just embrace the shift. Just keep breathing into it. It's a little while for the stuff to leave. You feel stuff coming out your fields. Okay, just open your eyes when you're ready. Keep breathing through your mouth. Keep yourself in the body. Would anyone like to share how that was, this past life fire clearing?
The second exercise, second part of the exercise, the restoration was powerful.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Peter. Lavinia. No, you have to unmute. You just muted yourself again. You already have.
I felt this huge weight just lift off my shoulders. I could physically feel it, which was amazing.
Yeah. Someone been sitting on your shoulders there for a long time. Thank you. Anyone else want to share how that was? Sarah?
I just had all kinds of like gastrointestinal noises. It was just my stomach and all over was so loud, all kinds of gurgling and stuff happening and shifting in there.
Yeah. Something was living in there, I think, on this live. So. Okay, anyone else want to share how that was?
I felt the chill.
Is what?
I felt the chill.
Yeah, something shifting. Cold is a good sign. That means something's being burnt through. So, yeah. Okay. Joanna, how was that for you?
A lot of humming throughout my whole body.
Yeah.
My whole body was humming.
Yeah.
But in a good way.
In a good way. Okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay. So when we do divine, anyone else? You guys not on camera want to comment there in the chat at the bottom if you want. I'll just read it out. Okay. Yeah. When we do this sort of strong work, we clear a lot of stuff. It takes a while. The ego needs a bit of help to integrate because we're basically dismantling it, and you've got to take it easy on it. You don't want to do it too quick, otherwise it'll go unstable. But the way we integrate is we infuse. We do what's called an integration chart in divine healing, which is what we're going to do now. We're going to do a nutrition chart, an energetic nutrition chart. So I'm going to go to nutrition, which is up here in the manual. This is level 1 manual. So we're going to use 4 types of nutrition. There's amino acids, essential fatty acids, minerals, and vitamins. So what we're actually doing is we're infusing at the frequency of the physical nutrition. Because that's what nutrition is. It carries a specific frequency. And so this will bypass the conscious mind and any defenses it has and go straight into your system to help integrate what's going on because of the shift. Right. So what I want you to do is that I'm going to scroll through this slowly, and one of these is going to jump out at you, okay? All right. And your eye will just be drawn to it. Your spirit will draw you to it. So whatever it is, just write it down or just take a note of it mentally. I'll go up and down a few times till you get this. And you don't have to be able to even pronounce it, let alone know what it does. It doesn't really matter because your higher self will guide you.
Do we pick just one?
Just one. You want to infuse only one nutrition frequency at a time. Okay. I'll go up and down a few more times. You'll have these long, fancy names, some of them. Go up once more. MSM jumped out at me there. I guess that must be my one. Okay, everyone okay? All right. So, I want you to do this command code with me now, because this is going to infuse the energy. Remember, this is all about asking, you shall receive. So, repeat after me. Microphone's on. It's more powerful doing it together. Yep, thanks. You just say, higher self.
Higher self,
Please encode these nutrients
please encode these nutrients
in the perfect balance
in the perfect balance
that is required,
that is required,
and clear and align
and clear
all pathways
all pathways
for maximum assimilation,
for maximum assimilation,
absorption,
absorption,
and utilization.
and utilization.
Just close your eyes, you'll feel it coming into your system. You'll feel mine coming through my crown chakra, around my head. It's a bit strange. But you sort of feel integration happen and an easing happen. And if you're feeling a little out of sorts because of the deep clearing you've had, this will sort it out. I'm feeling retired now from that one. Okay. When you feel it's done, it's sort of busy for a while, and you feel then it sort of settles down. When you feel it's done, just sort of open your eyes, come back.
Thank you.
Okay. Would anyone like to share their experience with that one? I'm still feeling a little woozy actually with that one. Ninka, how was that for you? Can't see you very well. It's a bit dark. You have to unmute. You just muted yourself.
I don't have so much light here, so
Yeah.
I do it a bit like this.
Yeah.
I don't feel so much. So I try to be not embarrassed.
It's okay. I think it's just a part of coming in the body, and I didn't feel very much when I first started doing this. Now I feel everything. It just took time to break through all the things stopping me from grounding and feeling. But it is whatever it is for you. There's no right way this is meant to be, and it's a different experience for everyone who does this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter.
I felt a bit tired, actually, sort of tiredness.
Yeah, some of the fatigue the body's been carrying from holding that program and is leaving. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to share there, even in the chat?
I felt really, like you said, the word woozy. You know, I just kind of felt, whoa, a little disoriented for a little while almost. And it kept settling.
Yeah.
Settling.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay. All right, so that's a little taste of divine healing, guys. So hopefully the flow will improve for you a little bit from that. So I'll talk a little bit about how you can get more of this. I'm going to share the screen. Where's my button gone? Here it is. So, how do you do more of this? Okay. So, actually, I want to show you in the manual here. In Divine Healing, there's 26 charts in this manual. This is the cover. It's about empowering yourself, basically. This is the 12-strand DNA. Because you're changing your DNA as you do this. But it's about empowering yourself to clear all that, clear egoing. And basically, there are 26 separate charts in Divine Healing, okay, which we use, which we teach you if you want to learn how to do this over 4 days, online on Zoom. And so there's all sorts of different things like working with angels and dark fluorescences, balancing your water, clearing fears and phobias, clearing blockages to the divine is a very powerful chart. Hidden subconscious ego agendas. Most of us function purely from this. A lot of stuff the ego's built up over many years to actually keep us alive, but the actual processes don't help us as adults. We just declared interferences just now. Lots of judgments and beliefs that limit us. You can clear those. This is the biggest chart in the system. Key psychological conflicts. We have what are called psychological reversals. Like maybe you can't process love. Real serious stuff like that. You did main low frequency programs. You've done nutrition. You did past life deaths. You can repair the subtle bodies and help their functioning. Sabotage is pretty big. Often the same old stuff happens. We keep sabotaging ourselves, and there's lots of programs behind that that takes those out. We clear traumas. We live out different universal archetypes. We get toxified by vaccines and toxins and things like that. So we work with all these, and these app codes are little command codes to clear things and help integrate a session. Because normally divine healing is carried out in about a 2-hour session, and basically, as a practitioner, if you decided to learn it, you would learn how to navigate this by following the spiritual signature, following the higher self, and basically dismantle someone's program or your own programs very rapidly with this. And so when we train people in this, we basically would learn, we go through every chart and we do a demonstration, and we would actually work on the whole group on simple charts, but more complex ones I demonstrate on one of the students in the course. And you go away into virtual breakout rooms in Zoom. We have total virtual privacy, and you practice on each other. You give and receive the treatment. And so basically it's a 4-day healing intensive. You get every chart that you do, and you get every chart that everyone else does as well. So you get a massive healing in the process. So it gives you a tool to actually really clear big layers of the ego. When I got hold of this, my life really changed rapidly from that. So yeah, you basically learn how to do the whole thing, really. Yeah. Sarah, do you want to share your experience of learning this level, just briefly?
Yeah, I would love to. I really appreciate divine healing. Historically, I had found different healing modalities at different times on my path of growth and on my spiritual path of growth. And what I found, I think, of the biggest thing that's coming up right now in this moment to share is that, I had these ideas of what needed to be healed next. And I would always tackle them and go right in. It was almost in some way my mind or my ego was telling me where to go next or whatever. And what I have found with divine healing is there's this natural way of the divinity of the system that's built that naturally, if we are on that onion and we're peeling the layers, I think what I was doing a lot of times on my healing journey before is I was pinpointing 3 or 4 layers that were inside, and then doing all of this work in rigmarole and having, 2 steps forward, 2 or 3 steps back, kind of feeling again and again, and doing a lot of work and getting kind of frustrated. And so what I found with divine healing is it kind of bypasses that part of us, and it allows this, like I said, divinity to guide you to the next outermost layer of your onion that's ready, because you've set it up in a way that you can't even imagine the absolute miraculous ways our consciousness has set up all of our programs and weaved them all together, and the closed loops and how they're all connected. And instead of us kind of having a little bit of self-awareness and really thinking we know this and this and this, divine healing allows you to get out of that, to surrender in, connect with something so much bigger than us, and peel the layer of the onion in which it was intended And then that whole ball of our programs, when you do that, it's just that little piece of the thread, and then everything else of the little aspects of the whole little ball just unravels. And you're always left in just a state of awe and wow. And I think divine healing is absolutely gorgeous for when you learn it. You're very confident in being able to do your own work for yourself, as well as sharing with others. And then, of course, the shared experience of doing any type of energetic work in consciousness, where every time we do a process, we're not only healing ourselves, our entire family, our genetic and ancestral lineage, each other, all of the collective of the beautiful hive that we all are. And yeah, is that good, Nicolas? I could go on.
Great, thank you. Yes, it's a nice subjective experience of learning and delivering it. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. So.
Nicolas, I have a question.
Yeah, Ninka.
What is a stack? You mentioned that in the other videos as well, and I don't understand.
A stack is where you have multiple charts which are dependent on each other. So you make 3, 4, or 5 charts, and they call other charts. So you move around the different charts to pick up one particular program, because, as Sharon said, there are multiple layers. Things are all connected together. It's like they're all interlinked. So you basically got to pull the thread of a program out in the right order, and the divine healing tells you, here's how you do it. So if you pick it out in the right order, the whole thing just eventually collapses that program, and it's just not there. And often the feeling with divine healing is that when the program's gone, it feels like I can't even remember what it was. It's literally surgically removed out of your system.
Okay.
And you don't have memory often, but you feel a lot better. That's how precise it is.
Beautiful.
And the way it works.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions on the experience this evening or the process? You want to put any chat questions? I'll take those as well. I'll read them out. Okay. So, how can you access this stuff? All right, here's how you can access it. So, there's 2 ways. You can, well, you've just had direct experience of it. You can go to freeupyourlifewithdivinehealing.com and book private sessions. That's with me. They're on Zoom. It's 2 hours online. These are the fees here. £178 for 2 hours, or about $240 US. Or a much more effective way is to learn it yourself. And the next training is on the 4th to 7th of May on Zoom, 12:30 to 8:30 UK time, 7:30 AM, 3:30 PM EST, 4:30 to 12 AM Pacific time. We have to do that because we have to get the Europeans Ninka, so they're not too late. They finish at 9:30 here. And we work as a group online for 4 days. In about 4 1.5 hour slots. There's a mass healing happening in the group of about a dozen people or more, depending on who turns up. So if you're really serious about learning or peeling your onion, the cost of the training, if you're drawn to it, is only 5.5 hours of private session time with me, and you have a tool which lasts your entire life. So yeah, it's a very powerful way of working. So the actual deposit for this is £166, or about $225 US. The full fee is £490 UK, and about probably $660 US. But it's a really powerful tool you can use on yourself to bring the flow to yourself much more quickly as you clear the issues that are in your ego onion. And also you can use it to help others as well if you have a spiritual practice, healing practice. And if you want to find out more, just go to the divinehealingtraining.com here, which will take you to the website. You can find out more details of the course. Okay. Any other remaining questions about that? No?
I just want to say that with doing the training, there's still people that I met from my Divine Healing 1 class that I'll still meet up with, and we'll still do sessions for each other. So you also really have the resource of like-minded individuals that, I think Nicolas always says, like, you know, some of our really tough programming, you know, it's nice to be guided and feel like you have a community that you can use the tools with, you know, and like for, you know, 15% or 20% of our really tough stuff, or, you know, you can really go there. And then the rest, you know, the other 80% or whatever, then you're empowered to, and know how to use it and set yourself free again and again and again. So I think that that's really valuable too, of the online community that you become a part of and how we get to hold space and support each other. It's been really fun to see. Nicolas came into my life in like July, and even since then, of not just the shifts and changes in myself and him, but in the people that I've been working with Divine Healing. Really big positive shifts in all of our lives, and just get to witness each other and hold space for each other, which has been a real gift.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, we have quite a couple of hundred practitioners around the globe, and we use secret Facebook groups to maintain community connection for all the practitioners. But every training has its own permanent secret Facebook group, so the community of your class stays together forever, basically, and actually gets very close, and everyone works and supports each other, and so it's a synergistic group process of growing rapidly together, isn't it, Sharon? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You also have the soul contract trainings as well. How do these relate to each other? Is it a recommendation to start with one and then move on to the other, or?
Whatever you're drawn to, the soul contract reading work based on Hebrew numerology basically decodes, those of you aren't aware, it takes your birth certificate name and decodes it, and it works out what all your karmic issues are, what your abilities you have to overcome them, what your goals are in life, and what your soul destiny or life purpose is. Mm-hmm. Basically lays out the map upon which you can focus your divine healing, because you know what the programs are, so you get to it even quicker by combining the two. Most practitioners do both in the end, because they use the soul contract work to understand the client, and it brings absolute truth to why the client's life is the way it is. The client owns that, therefore they go deeper in their healing process. So basically they're accelerators, really.
And is it better to do this one first or that other one first?
It doesn't really matter. It's whatever you're drawn to. This workshop's in May. The next soul contract training's not till October. Oh. So the thing is, it only runs twice a year. So this one means you have a tool you can use now, and then if you learn the soul contract to find out what's going on for a client, but most especially they can own their stuff. It breaks through a lot more of that icy turquoise ego protection, because the ego can't deny pure truths, which is what all this work is all about. Therefore, it dissolves much quicker. So it creates a very good tool set for your practice, having the two together. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Sharon?
Well, I could, just to share my experience, Eliana, it might be helpful, was the timing of things. I ended up taking my divine healing first. And you leave very confident in using it for yourself and for others, you know. And so I started using it and was so thrilled with the results and excited about it. And then soul contract training came up for me next. And the cool thing about that order for me was it just made everything make that much more sense, and being able to pinpoint exactly where the heart wounds or the traumas were. And then I was already really comfortable introducing them to divine healing. And my experience was, the moment I did any soul contract for anybody, that every single person wanted to follow it up with a divine healing session in order to transmute what we kind of uncovered together. So I was really grateful for how that played out in my experience. Yeah.
Thank you. Very helpful.
Yeah, because people know the soul contract reading is accurate, and you have this enormously powerful tool of divine healing. It creates enormous it's good for business. It creates a lot of repeat business because they're not going to go to anyone else because you already know intimately everything that's going on, and it'll go a lot quicker, and they have a lot more trust when you know exactly what's going on. They know what's going on. So the healing and awakening process is much more rapid when you combine the two. Yeah. So a lot of my practitioners have built very good practices by combining the two, divine healing and soul contract, for that reason. So yeah, we provide ongoing support for practitioners. It's peer-to-peer support on the Divine Healing Facebook group and the Soul Contract Facebook group, but then obviously I answer the questions and Almira answers the questions as well. So basically you're doing a community that is self-supporting and growing all the time, and there's some pretty amazing people on it. And some have a lot of experience with this work who will support you as well in your questions. Okay, any final questions before we close tonight? Okay, I want to thank you all for coming and engaging, and I'll email the video for the next day or two. So if you watch it again, you'll have the same, it's just as strong, okay? So make sure it's not in the car or anything like that you're listening to it. You need to be in a relaxed, receptive state, okay? So enjoy. Okay, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Thanks everyone for their thanks on the chat. So.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.